Detroit Lions. This is a team that could use Graham Barton, who has some flexibility both on the interior and as a tackle. They just paid Penei Sewell. Sewell. They gave him his bread. Let me see who the other left tackle is. I can see his face. I believe it's Taylor Decker, but I want to make sure I got that right. Let's see. Yep, Taylor Decker at left guard, and he is going into his 8th year. Um, and so they could potentially go Graham Barton here. Looking at their corners, they went and got Carlton Davis in free agency. Although Carlton Davis had some issues, they got Amik Robertson in free agency as well. So, I mean, I think we already got my guy Cooper DeJean, who I think would have been a good fit here. Let me see what else we got at corner before I go Graham Barton. You know what? The Lions are a team that is unorthodox, right? They got a lot of flack for going linebacker and running back in the draft. Some people might not like this pick, but I like Mikey Sainristil out of Michigan. I think he's a kid who has positional flexibility. I think he's a kid who you can play at a slot corner. You can play him on the outside. If you want to play him a couple of snaps at safety, I think they're a team that's looking to try to rebuild that back end because that back end struggled a lot last year. So, and that's somebody that I'm actually in the moment. They weren't on my board. In my board, I had TJ Tampa, Ennis Rakestraw, and Graham Barton. But I'm going to go, the Lions they're a wild card, right? They're a team that likes to take risks, right? They're a team that if they're playing blackjack, I made this joke on the show about 2 weeks before it became really popular on Twitter. They're a team that playing blackjack, they hit on 17. And so I think they're going to take a risk here and go with Sainristil out of Michigan. All right, so now to the Ravens. They're a team that I think that could use a wide receiver. They're a team that I think could use someone on the interior. And if the Buffalo Bills had not gone wide receiver, I could have seen them, or if the Bills had gone wide receiver and left Jer'Zhan Newton on the board, I could see that easily being the pick for the Ravens. But here, I think they're going to go wide receiver. And even though he's going to be a little bit ways down the board, I think the Ravens are going to take Xavier Worthy out of Texas. You put him alongside the young man that they got from Boston College last year, and I think you really got something to help Lamar be an even more effective passer of the football than he was last year. Zay Flowers, right? They just resigned Rashad Bateman. I like Nelson Aguilar, but I don't think he's the future. Xavier Worthy, Bateman, Flowers to go along with Mark Andrews at tight end. I like that a lot for them. I like that a lot for the Ravens. All right, 31. This is my squad now. 31, my squad, the Niners. I have been beating down the door for them to go with a tackle. All due respect to their right tackle, Colton McKivitz. To me, he is a liability. He's not the answer. And originally, I had them taking Graham Barton if he was still on the board. Let me look at some other tackles that are out here. Kingsley Suamaitai, excuse me, forgive me for butchering that name. He's somebody I thought they could go. They could go Tyler Guyton here. They could go Jordan Morgan here. However, they could also go with one of the corners because they need to solidify their corner. So Ennis Rakestraw could be a guy they look at here. But I am going to go. Let me see. Who did I have? Who did I have here? I'm going to go on the defensive line. They're always looking to improve their defensive line, and I got them going after Chop Robinson out of Penn State. Really good edge rusher. Very athletic edge rusher. I think he needs some polishing and refinement on technique. And I think with Chris Korsak, the defensive line coach, I think that can be the guy to get Chop up to speed and put him on the opposite side of Nick Bosa because they They've had a rotating door ever since the D4 trade of trying to get guys in who can be the other explosive pass rusher on the other side. I think they go on the D line, get Chop Robinson, and they go from there. And so last but certainly not least, the defending two-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. This is an interesting one because we saw what happened with Rashee Rice, his issue. Adam Schefter came out and said that at worst, there's going to be a several game suspension for it's going to be a several game suspension for Rice. We saw what that receiving core did all season long. We saw how Andy Reid hyped up Kadarius Toney. Hey, Sky Moore has not come through. Justin Watson, to me, is your fourth or fifth wide receiver. He should not be getting third wide receiver snaps, second wide receiver snaps. And so it's a wide receiver, offensive tackle. And I have no idea where to go. I've seen, shout out to D-Mac from Kingdom Cast. He's talked about Jordan Morgan, his arms not being long enough to be able to be the type of player that they go for at offensive tackle. Tyler Guyton is a guy that I'm looking at on the offensive tackle there. Maybe if you wanted to reach for Kingsley, I guess. But to me, that's a reach. And so now I'm looking at wide receiver, Troy Franklin, Ladd McConkey, Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson, Ricky Pearsall. I have spent most of my day thinking about this 32nd pick, or at least when I thought about the 32nd pick, going between Tyler Guyton and Ladd McConkey. And right now, if I'm Brett Veach, you got to solidify that left-hand side, right? You got to solidify that left-hand side. And so this is the first-round mock. I can't wait to do this again next year. You can see what we did here. And let me know what y'all think. How many of these you think will land at this number or with this particular team? Who's going to go where? I do hope that my QB crush, which is Michael Penix Jr., I hope he does end up being a first-round draft pick because I think he is that good. I'm not as sold on Bo Nix. Maybe a couple of these quarterbacks do move up, but this is our mock draft, man. Tell me what y'all think, how y'all call it. And that is our time for this week, man. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate those who stopped by. Appreciate those who watch. Please remember, you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching for It's a Black and White Thing, sharing the content, giving us 5 stars, sharing the broadcast. You can also find us on YouTube by searching Brains and Bars. Hit the notification bell, hit the like button, share the broadcast, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's those boys again. You can follow us on social media, TikTok, IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Brains and Bars. And that's it, man. Until next time, it's been a Black and White Thing. Y'all have a good night. Be easy.